Hi guys, my name is Oladimeji and my goal with this channel is to help you master programming so you can level up in your career and live an abundant life, okay? And in this video, I'm going to share with you my coding bootcamp experience. As I've said in my previous videos, guys, I am a new I consider myself a beginner front-end developer because I only started learning how to code in June of 2023 this year. Okay. And I the path that I took obviously is by joining a coding bootcamp, because there are three paths you can take to learn how to code. You can, self-taught, you can teach yourself how to code, you can go to a university or form of get some form of traditional education, I believe, maybe a high school or a college or whatever. And the third part is by doing what I did, which is joining a coding bootcamp. Okay. And I don't regret it. Okay. And I would actually recommend that anyone who wants to learn how to code, if you can't go through the traditional route by going to a university, join a coding bootcamp. And I'm going to share with you my experience and exactly what you can expect so you can prepare yourself mentally, because joining the coding bootcamp, it's a mental battle. Okay, I wish someone had told me this when I was joining my coding bootcamp back in June, because it was very challenging. Okay, coming from a non-coding, a non-tech background like I did. Okay, so yeah, first of all, I want to tell you that you have to prepare yourself for the time it's going to take you to learn everything you need to learn in your bootcamp. Okay, because in a normal coding bootcamp, they will have, maybe it's a 6 month coding bootcamp, which in my case it was a 16 weeks coding bootcamp, guys. 16 weeks. Okay, it was from June to around November. Okay, and for me, for someone who is not considered a tech kind of person, it was a lot. It was a lot for me. It was a lot of challenge, but I actually graduated my coding bootcamp. A lot of people dropped out. Okay. It was the first week of my coding bootcamp. We had about 50 people. Okay, in the first Zoom video that we all did, it was about 50 people there, and the second week, it reduced to about 30 people. 20 people completely dropped out because the first thing we did was we just jumped straight through HTML. After, obviously the introduction and everything, and by the next class on the next day, it was just okay, boom, this is HTML, blah 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 blah. And obviously, I was familiar with the languages, in terms of I've heard about HTML before, but I've never actually coded or did anything with a text editor or whatever like that. But it was a lot, and like I said, a lot of people drop out. But you if you are joining a coding bootcamp, mentally prepare yourself that it's going to be a lot, and don't let that scare you. Be Relish that challenge, relish that the fact that you're going to need hours after classes to dive deeper into the topics and into these languages. Okay, and in my case, the roadmap, I'm going to talk about the roadmap that we went through. The roadmap, you have to be prepared from jumping into HTML to CSS to a different language. You have to prepare for that. That was the main thing that was a big challenge for me. From HTML, because I had the mentality of, hey, we haven't finished learning about HTML, but you won't learn everything. You just learn the basics that you need to know, and then pick it up, learn it, know how to build a simple web page with HTML, and then you will move on to CSS, and then from CSS, learn the basics. Learn how to use the selectors and the properties and the values. Just the basic syntax. How to apply basic styles, how to link the style sheet with your HTML file, external style sheets or inline styles and stuff like that. Learn things, simple things, the basics, and then you will quickly move on to another language. Obviously, HTML and CSS are not programming languages, but that's where you will most likely start if you're going through a coding bootcamp that's focused on front end development, okay, like I did. Okay, so like I said, the roadmap for my bootcamp was we initially we learned HTML, we learned CSS, we learned UI UX design, which wasn't a full spectrum of UI UX design. It was just like an afternoon, basically like a class, because like I said, guys, it was a 16 weeks bootcamp, so it was fast. But actually, looking back now that I finished, I'm thinking it's good that it was fast. It's good that it was compiled into 16 weeks, because you don't really need that much time to dive deep into these languages. And I wish I had known that. I had the mindset of, I need more time to go back into HTML, but you won't have that much time, guys. Prepare yourself mentally, okay? So like I said, you will learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript is what's probably going to challenge you the most, because that's what challenged me the most, guys. You have to prepare yourself, because the first programming language you're likely going to learn is JavaScript if you're dealing with front-end development, okay? And when it comes to JavaScript, you need to think logically. Okay, you need to learn the basics and then apply logic, because you'll be working with objects, you'll be working with variables and functions and loops, and all those things. So arrays. So you have to prepare yourself mentally, because it's a big jump from doing basic home page with HTML and style sheets with CSS to moving into interactivity with JavaScript. It's a big jump, but those are the basics. The basics of front-end development is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you have to kind of get your mind around what each languages are for. HTML is the structure, CSS is the styles, to style the website, add colors and the layout and things of that nature, the responsiveness of the website or the web application that you're building. That's what CSS is for. And then the JavaScript is the interactivity. That's adding logic, telling your website to click on a button and do something. That's what JavaScript does, okay? So you have to be able to mentally deal with those languages and know how to use them in combination with each other to build a project, okay? So yeah, those are the first three things we did in the first month of the bootcamp. And then after working with JavaScript for about 3 weeks to a month, we moved into Node.js. Okay, Node.js is also a JavaScript, I could say, framework in a way, but Node is more or less a backend language. Okay, you're working with servers instead of working with the browser and in the front end. So, and then from Node.js we moved into React. Okay, like I said, the first thing we learned was HTML, CSS, UI UX, which is, like I said, it was like an afternoon, to be honest. It was like a 40-minute video on that, to be. We didn't really dive deep or anything. And then from there it was JavaScript, and then Node.js, and then React, and we spent about 2 weeks on React. And the great thing that I love about my coding bootcamp was the fact that we were doing projects, guys. We were doing like assignments. Okay, we were after the first week of classes, on the Friday we would get the opportunity to work on our assignment and basically get some time alone in class and after class on a weekend, for example, to work on an assignment. And also, one thing I forgot to mention was that we learned I love the fact that we learned Git and GitHub very, very early on. And I mean in the first week, and I really think everyone should learn Git and GitHub in the first week, guys, because version control is a very important aspect of coding in general, okay, because it allows you to push your work to GitHub. That's the power of Git. You're using the terminal and you're working in the terminal. You're as you're working on your assignments, you're also working with Git with the terminal and then pushing your work to GitHub. You use basic commands like the cd command and the git status command and the git commit command and the git add command and git push and stuff like that. So Git is a very powerful version control software as well, and that's one thing that I actually got uh, understood early on. I understood Git and GitHub really early, and I actually enjoy working with the terminal and you know pushing my code to GitHub. It really gives me like a confidence, after doing something. When I was learning the HTML CSS, after doing something, I felt confident enough to push my code to GitHub, and seeing the changes on GitHub and everything, I really understood that aspect of front-end development, and that's one of the things that I actually enjoyed in the coding bootcamp. So guys, yeah, but the most important thing that you need to understand is mentally prepare yourself that you're going to learn a lot in a very short time. If you can manage that and relish that challenge instead of shying away for it, or for example did what some people did. Some people even dropped out of the boot camp when it was almost close to the end as well. Obviously people have things that they have going on in their lives or whatever. I'm not judging, but yeah, guys, just mentally prepare yourself that it's going to be a lot. You're going to be learning a lot of things. If you can mentally prepare yourself for that, I think you're going to do well in any coding bootcamp that you join. Okay, so yes, coding bootcamp experience for me is 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it, and even now, guys, I'm not working in the industry because I still feel like I don't have the confidence yet to go and apply for a job. I've built my CV and everything, but I'm still kind of building my confidence as a developer. I'm working on my personal project. I'm still going back and forth, with the videos from the coding bootcamp. So I'm still learning, and I plan to start applying for jobs next year, 2024. Definitely, God willing, I hope I do. So because I really want to have a change of career into tech. Is something that I actually enjoy doing. And yeah, guys, so yeah, I hope you find this video helpful. So that's something you can that's something you can expect from a coding bootcamp. So just mentally prepare yourself, guys. Mentally prepare yourself, and if you can do that, you'll do well in any coding bootcamp that you join. Okay, thank you for watching the video, and I really hope you've learned something on this video. So if you have, make sure you like this video and leave a comment below if you've joined a coding bootcamp, or if you're thinking of joining one. And I'm actually going to leave a link to the coding bootcamp that I joined, that was a part of, because there's another one. They're doing another one in February next year. So if you're in England, if you're in the UK and you want to join, especially if you're in the West Midlands, if you want to join a coding bootcamp, I'm going to leave a link below so you can check them out. Okay, it's a very good one. Okay, it's 16 weeks, like I said. You're going to learn a lot regardless of any bootcamp you join. But yeah, it's very rewarding, and I think yeah, you should be a part of it if you want to join a coding bootcamp. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.